So I've been working my way through Beyond Good and Evil by Nietzsche, by Friedrich Nietzsche, who's a German philosopher from the 1800s. And I read this little section that got me super hyped because it fit in really well with all this like Yeezy season craziness that's been going on. And I also watched Kanye's interview with Charlemagne, and then I saw the TMZ like little clip where he's talking about how 400 years of slavery was like a choice, was like they were because they were it was like a they were enslaved mentally. Anyways, let me read the section from the book and then connect it back to all the Kanye stuff. Here it is. It says, "It is always more obvious to me that the philosopher, as a man indispensable for the morrow and the day after the morrow, as in tomorrow, has ever found himself, and has been obliged to find himself, in contradiction to the day in which he lives. His enemy has always been the ideal of his day. Hitherto, all those extraordinary furtherers of humanity, whom one calls philosophers, who rarely regarded themselves as lovers of wisdom, but rather as disagreeable fools and dangerous interrogators, have found their mission, their hard, involuntary, imperative mission, in being the bad conscience of their age." So that shit, that fits so good. And then it goes on, and there it talks about greatness, and like it fits. I'll send you the link to the whole section. What was I gonna say? Oh, so about his comment. So when he said the 400 years slave mentality, and he tried to like fix it on Twitter, he said, "Oh, I'm talking about how if you're a slave for 400 years and you outnumber your masters, then you've been enslaved in your mind." And everyone's like, what the fuck are you saying? And then like Ebro went on CNN and says like, this guy has clearly lost his mind. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He doesn't read books. He's proud of the fact that he doesn't read books. Fuck Ebro. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, so at the face value, when you hear him say, when you see the TMZ clip, you're like, what the fuck are you saying, Kanye? But if you just take like a second to like digest what he's saying, it's like crystal clear. He's just talking about like a slave mentality, and he says like we can't afford another 400 years of slavery. And what he's talking about is like playing like a victim's mentality, where African Americans have seen themselves as victims for so long that it's been ingrained in them that like it's like an us versus them sort of situation, and they always see themselves as the victim. And he wants to push past that as a philosopher, which is like crazy dope, right? And he wants to push past the polarization in politics, which is like a crazy task for him to like take upon himself as like just like an artist. He's an artist, and he's doing like what the role he's playing is, like superhero movies, how there's like two buildings falling apart, or like in the Spider-Man movie, how the ship was like ripped straight in half, and then Spider-Man's like in the middle, just fucking Jesus pose pulling it together. That's basically what he's trying to do with our parties, political parties, which is such a like a superhero move. And obviously like he's being painted as this like crazy dude, and I'm sure like I can't justify everything that he's done or said, but like if you just take a second to digest, he just sort of gives you like a little splash, he just gives you a little sections, little blurbs, little thoughts, and he doesn't distill them or refine them. You have to do that. It's like a Cubist Pablo Picasso paint, or like a Jackson Pollock, where it's like just splashes and shit. And a lot of people don't like modern art because they say, oh, it's like arbitrary and meaningless. but you just have to like appreciate, you have to like distill and like find the meaning yourself, and that takes work and effort, and like the general public is not up for that, you know. And I feel like that's sort of what's going on. Anyways, I couldn't really sleep. I got excited about this, so I decided to talk about it. All right, deuces.